Hello everybody! Today we're going to be looking at a very interesting ASMR channel on YouTube called Ephemeral Rift. And what better way to be introduced to their channel than by their channel trailer video? Let's take a look.
Hello. My name is Barry. I hope you are well. Welcome to the Ephemeral Rift YouTube channel. Unfortunately, Ephemeral Rift is unable to be here due to, how should we say, extenuating circumstances.
Just got an order from the boss. Dump everything.
That he just fucking saw.
Everything? Everything. Come on, come on, come on. Clicker, clicker. Delete, delete.
Welcome back to another episode of Pataclysm. Now, how many of you have heard of ASMR? Oh wow, none of you? None of you know what ASMR means. I guess I'll have to explain it for the 10,000th time on YouTube. Let's go! Well, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, which is the feeling one gets when a form of audio, usually soft whispering or tapping, gives one a feeling of tingling sensation in their brain. It's kind of like that feeling you get when you go to the bathroom and you bring a Nintendo Switch so you can play Minecraft for as long as possible, and you stay in there for a half hour to an hour, and then when you finally get up, you can barely stand, barely move your legs because they're tingling so much, and you contemplate whether you're even going to get out of the bathroom ever at one point in your life. It's like that, except the feeling's in your brain. And for the most part, these ASMR videos have started innocent enough, just helping people calm down or get to sleep, whispering, tapping on things, etc. But as the community grew, well, things got really strange really quickly. It's a lot different now. Overtly sexual ASMRs, roleplay scenarios, and weird experimental spin-offs became more commonplace in the community. It was also during this time that the commentary community started to take notice. Elvis the Alien even created a few videos entitled The Dark Side of ASMR to showcase these strange outliers in the genre.
What sort of fucking alien sprays people with Febreze?
And this is where Ephemeral Rift comes in. Because in the first episode of The Dark Side of ASMR, he finds and talks about some of his videos.
This guy is so creative and so fucking weird and out there that he makes the craziest ASMR videos you can ever imagine. Sometimes he goes for a little bit of Bob Ross action. Sometimes he dresses up as a serial killer named Margaret. This is shit from nightmares, dude. I could not watch this. How can people watch this and use it as ASMR? I can't imagine someone watching this and being like, ooh, now this is relaxing. I like watching this creepy fucking shit.
He talks about it for a short bit, he basically says it's insane, but also pretty impressive, and moves on. Flash forward now to the present, over 3 years after that video, and Mr. Ephemeral Rift is not only surviving in his genre, but he's thriving. With almost 700,000 subscribers, videos posted multiple times a week, and now an entire universe of lore created around his characters. That's the reaction I have. That's the reaction I have, guys. This is crazy. It's crazy. And so, I wanted to do a deep dive on his channel, get some context on how this all started, and figure out how something so outlandish can garner such a massive and dedicated audience. Therefore, unlike most videos, this one's gonna be a little bit structured, starting with the initial reactions to the weird stuff, aka the
extenuating circumstances
part, to talking about the universe he created, or the Rift world, and finally, a conclusion. God, I'm sounding so serious. I don't like it. Luna! Play me some funky beat to transition into the next part. Yeah. Exposition is over. Part 1 starts now! Now let me ask you something. What does Bedtime Story by Comrade Yuri, Cthulhu Tries McDonald's Big Mac Meal, and How to Care for a Pet Boot have in common? Well, other than the fact that they sound like every hallucinated fever dream I've ever had, they're also ASMR videos made by Ephemeral Rift. And in addition to these being as weird as they sound from the title and the thumbnail, if you look at any of these videos, you'll find that there's always some kind of twist that just brings it to the next level. For example, in Relaxing with Jesus.
Please, call me Jesus, or if you like. Herb, but not Herbie. That's my middle name.
Okay, so we are 40 seconds into this hour and 3-minute video, and he has already established that Jesus' full name is actually Herbert Herbie Christ. Okay, first, why? Second, how dare you remind me of Herbie Fully Loaded, that 2005 Lindsay Lohan movie where he basically tries to fuck an underage car?
He's Herbier.
Herbie. She's too young for you.
Don't think that's out of my memory. Do not mention his name. But regardless, it took us that long to get to something where I'm like, okay, so this isn't just normal ASMR, this is an ad-libbed, and yet somehow extremely well put together shitpost all in one. Let's go to the next one. Dr. Dave treats a patient's upset stomach. Now, I know what you're thinking. You seeing what I'm seeing? You seeing what I'm seeing? You seeing that thumbnail and are you questioning it? Yeah, I get it. We'll get to it. But for now, let's just look into it, take it at face value, and see this patient of his.
Have you been exercising? And any changes to your normal daily routine and behavior? Okay, again, no. Looks like the patient tried to eat Lenin, or at least a tiny ceramic representation of a great world leader.
Oh, okay, I get it. So not only is Dr. Dave what he is, but his patient is a dresser with a wig, who he claims is a creature that has an exoskeleton, and his upset stomach is because he's eating things that he shouldn't be eating, like a little statue of Lenin, and the letter J, which, as he explains, is apparently one of the only letters you're not supposed to consume.
No, many letters of the alphabet are okay to eat, but some of them you should avoid.
It really just baffles me because anyone else would have just been, I'm your doctor, I'm taking care of you, here's some ASMR tinglies, how the whole world works. But no, he gets a dresser, puts a wig on it, puts a lot of shit in it, and says, you shouldn't be eating the letter J, son. Don't you know that the letter I is the one it's rich in nutrients? And I have to assume that most of it is ad-libbed because he goes on for almost an hour. How are you gonna go on for an hour and ad-lib such shitpost quality content? It baffles me, and I want to go to the next one. Grandpa's radio. Now this one has him dressing up as an old man trying to get a very old radio to work. And what's the best about it is that instead of him just, tweaking it, saying, oh, maybe this will work, maybe that'll work, maybe some static ASMRs, it gets very existential, and he's basically like, oh yeah, girl, you're old just like me. You're gonna die, and then I'm gonna die. And it gets kind of sad.
I know you're getting up there in years, on your last legs, just like me. But listen to you, darling. You still got some life left in you. Just like me.
Sadness is attacking me. I'm not sick. It's the sadness. And so of course I hear that. I already am like, wow, this is pretty weird too. And then I skip ahead and... well, that didn't take very long now, did it? No, he's not dead. He just falls asleep on it. But it certainly gave me a shock after all that. Oh, you're old and I'm old and we're gonna die together. Oh, kind of talk. Relax with Jerry the bottle opener. Luna! You are loud! And I'm recording a video! First off, this is my favorite one. I know I just met him, but I would die for Jerry. Second of all, can you imagine how much dedication this takes? It's an hour long, and I checked. There are no loops and no cuts. He's just sitting there puppeteering a little bottle opener for an hour long. I just hope his audience appreciates it. He did exactly 3,473 reps. Well, thankfully his audience appreciates it. And now, since there's way too much to go through and I already find so much enjoyment just looking at the titles and the thumbnails, it is time for Patrick's Singing Hour. Because I love singing and I will find any excuse to do so. Cone of the Elder Gods, relax with Rob Zombie, Ross, Nutman, Movie Man, the thing in the crate. Why is my fork a spoon, chillin' with Cthulhu? Capitalism, communism, burying your brain. Guessing things about you, grilled cheese and tomato soup. Visit to the ER, the hose of ASMR. Sorry, that one gets me every time, just the hose of ASMR. Because in reality, the video is just him showing some gardening hose and haha, it's so funny.
Just cleaning up my hose.
But I can't help but just imagine actual hose of ASMR. Someone who's like,
Oh yeah, I'm a slut for some ASMR. Give me some ASMR tinglies, daddy.
it's pretty gross, actually. I'm not gonna make that joke. Too far? Too far. Either way, I think I've proved my point. There's a lot of crazy stuff on this channel, to the point where just the title and the thumbnail alone is pure entertainment. But up until this point, I've never actually watched a full-length video of his. So if I'm gonna understand why he makes them and what people see in them, I'm gonna need to commit. So I'm gonna watch the before-mentioned Chillin' with Cthulhu, because that one really stood out to me, and see where it takes me. Wish me luck.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Cthulhu. But in case you didn't know, you can also call me Kevin.
Kevin, huh? Here we go.
A few
ASMRs
later.
I understand now. Luna! Part 2! Rolling! Go! Now here's the part where it gets serious, because not only does this man have some of the craziest, most intriguing videos of ASMR on YouTube, but he also created an entire cinematic universe out of them. So Kevin, the Cthulhu, Deep One Dave, Margaret, the Plague Doctor, all of these characters and more exist in one cohesive storyline. Or one cohesive storyline with parallel differences and stuff like that, but regardless, they all exist in one place. Y'all ever see those commercials for Lucid Chart?
A small doggo is a pupper. Here's a sad pupper. But a big old pupper, that's actually a doggo. Not to be confused with a big old doggo, because that's a woofer. But if it's just a small woofer, then it's actually a doggo.
Where he's like, keep track of all your doggos and more with Lucid Chart. Well, allow me to do just that, but with the history and lore of Rift World. Ready? Set? It all starts back in medieval times with two brothers, Corvus and William Clemens. Corvus goes on to become a plague doctor, while William becomes a professor in dealing with magic and the occult. They both begin practicing at Arkham Sanitarium, and each find a method to eternal life. Corvus using a concoction he must inject, and Professor Clemens using dark magic from the Great Ones. The Great Ones being either directly or indirectly related to the stories of H.P. Lovecraft. This includes Cthulhu, Deep One Dave, and other elder gods summoned by Professor Clemens. Eventually, through dabbling with the Great Ones, Professor Clemens summons all the Elder Gods to Earth, which starts a 1,000-year war of humans versus Great Ones. After the war, Earth is a post-apocalyptic wasteland, with all manner of new creatures, entities, and personalities spread into the world, with Arkham Sanitarium being a safe space for all manner of beings to reside and relax in. Rather than the stereotypical insane asylum one may think of, Arkham Sanitarium is a getaway where you are free to go and meet with or be experimented on by one of the many residents. These residents may include the aforementioned Deep One Dave, Cthulhu, Margaret, Grandpa, Rob Zombie Ross, a sentient rhino, the Sandwich Man, and many, many, many more. Some reside in the sanitarium, some are doctors at the facility, and some just visit from the outside, but they all have one goal in mind, to give you the tinglies. That feeling you may get from ASMR, that's all they want. Whether it be a doctor doing it as an experiment, or another patient just helping you fall asleep, or even a method of extracting the tinglies as to fuel the sentient entity that is the sanitarium itself. You are always a patient or visitor, getting those tinglies and enjoying the wacky characters as you do so. So, next time you see one of these videos, and your initial reaction is, oh my god, that's so creepy, take a moment to think of the context. For example, Margaret buries your brain. How could that possibly be redeemed, you ask? Well, if you were to look into the history and the lore, Margaret is actually the deceased and reanimated wife of Corvus Clemens, whose garden actually has healing properties. You, other patients, or even just body parts are planted in this garden so that they can heal and grow. See? That's the face of someone who cares. Y'all are just racist. I think. I don't know. Probably not. But still, give her a chance. And I mean, come on. Cthulhu's whole personality is just helping you fall asleep by showing off his record and video game collection to you.
Where you gonna go? Ghostbusters.
You could be my best friend. So what am I trying to get at here? What is my overarching lesson in all this? Well, DC spent about $1 billion on movies leading up to Justice League and establishing their cinematic universe. And I'm about 30 times more invested in Ephemeral Rift's universe than I am of that garbage fire. Luna, part 3, let's go! Now, usually this is the part in the video where I do some kind of wacky and crazy parody to make fun of it and all that. And I still might. I'll put it right here. Now, I tried to make this exact video about a year ago, with full intention of just calling him a nut job and going off and being like, haha, look how funny and stupid and weird this all is. But then it got deeper, as you just found out. And the more I looked into him and more I wrote the script, the more this video came kind of a character piece. He loved ASMR, he loved combined universes, a lot of inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft. He put them together, he put it out there, people liked it, and he loves what he does. Go to his comments too, and people are just super positive. They love his stuff. Cut back to my comments. So you know what, Ephemeral Rift, or I think your name is Paul, I respect what you do. I really do. I'm not that into ASMR, but, you know, I really wanted to make a video on you. So, props to you. This is my ASMR here. Relaxing, huh? If you're still here at the end, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought. I know it's not as crazy as the other ones, but I hope to get back to doing more crazy stuff as my life starts getting less crazy. And hopefully, I see you in the next one. Ow, my eye. Bye. Come here. Why you got freaking snot on the glass?